All right.
This is all a work in progress.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Salty Snack GameCast. I'm your host, Patrick Redler, and sitting next to me is...
Tom Wanless.
John Hansen.
Mic closer to you, John.
John. My name is John.
Man, fix your mic.
Why they would stick it straight up or down?
It's not a dick.
John.
He's got the dildo mic over there.
This is awkward now. It's like sticking at me.
Oh,
How's everyone doing?
not too bad. A little tired.
A little tired?
I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking tired myself. So if you haven't seen our GameCast before, it goes down like this. Each and every week, we talk about different gaming news, what we're playing, and what we think about the gaming industry, of how it's evolving. If you like this, check out our other show on our Patreon, WHR Games. You can look that up on the link below, WHR Games. Check out our Patreon if you like this. Give us some money. If you don't like it, that's okay. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Find us on Twitter at WHR_games.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's correct?
Yeah, that's your
So we're getting
correct.
this. We're getting this. All right, what are we talking about first? Any gaming news?
Well, I mean,
work all day. I haven't been thinking of anything, but
You're right, there is no news. It was a
Yeah.
trick question. There has
No new
been
news.
exactly.
and that's the
Nailed
show.
it.
We're done.
A plus.
There hasn't been really any news. It's probably because the holidays coming up, and E3 was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's probably just mostly because E3 was a couple weeks ago. Everybody's still talking about that. I don't know. Did you guys see anything interesting from E3 that you thought was going to be?
Are we going straight into E3?
I might as well.
Go on. Go on.
I finished.
You didn't even
That's-
say anything.
That's all I wanted to say.
What?
I didn't really watch E3 except for that bit that we watched together.
The Sony conference,
Yeah.
which was amazing. Actually, they all pretty much had good conferences except for Nintendo, but Nintendo only showed one game.
No, it showed Zelda. Everybody was pretty hyped for
Yeah,
that.
one game. What else did they show? Pokemon.
Well, I mean,
So they show Pokemon and they show
yeah, what's
Zelda.
it called? Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon, which I'm excited for, coming out this summer.
Is it the summer? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they like that. If they like release names of games and stuff like that, and they're like, all right, it's coming out next month or something like that.
Well, they released the name like a month or two ago.
Oh, did they? Okay,
This-
I guess I never heard anything about
It's
it.
the same shit every time. They release a name, they show the legendaries off, they show the new evolutions off, they show where the region is, and then they pretty much just show gameplay after that.
I suppose.
Do they show starters?
I believe they did concept art for starters, but they didn't show them in game.
Okay. Well, art is usually just what I'd be interested in. That's why I picked Mudkip.
Mudkip.
Yeah, everyone likes Mudkip.
I don't know about you guys, but ever since they started doing like some of the newer Pokemon games, they're starting to run out of designs for names and stuff. Or they're coming out with like ice cream cone Pokemon.
They're coming out with like.
Yeah.
Have you seen they showed a new one? It just looked like Digimon.
Is it?
Just straight Digimon. Like it evolves into this big old armor looking thing. It goes from a dog to an armor man. It's straight Digimon right there.
I don't understand that so much, but I mean, I guess I haven't played any of the new ones. I think the newest Pokemon game I've played is probably Pokemon Platinum.
Holy shit.
I know it's been a while.
So long ago. What was your
Play- I don't know if it was black or white or X or Y. Which one of those came later?
The black and white came out in the DS. X and Y came out in the 3DS.
I played the 3DS one. Well, I played both, but
Which one's the most recent one?
Well, they came out, redid Sapphire and Ruby. Those two just came out. So those were like the remaster in 3DS.
Okay.
But the new official one that came out was X and Y, which was pretty
okay.
good.
Okay.
I'm surprised that they didn't do a Z version. I figured that.
Yeah, where they kind of combine everything.
Yeah, that's like their
Kind of-
go-to.
kind of like an emerald to the ruby and sapphire.
Yeah, or platinum. Because
Mm.
they really just like to milk that shit for everything it's worth.
I mean, it's worth it. You got a game that everybody wants. They're gonna buy it. So.
Shit, I bought red version, and then I had the yellow version. Had to get that Pikachu version.
Yep, yellow was. It was just worth it just to have like your own Pokemon actually just like follow you around. It's the greatest part of that game.
And they don't even have that anymore, do they?
Yellow?
No, I'm saying like Pokemon.
Oh, they had
Flower.
in Soul Silver and Heart Gold.
That's right.
But
remember
I
that.
don't
That's
think
what
they
it was,
had
Soul
any
Silver.
other games like that.
No, well, Soul Silver was the re-release on the DS.
Yeah, of Silver and Gold from the Game Boy Color. Yeah, Silver was the one I actually started out playing. That's probably still my favorite one.
That was your first one.
That was
Silver?
my first Game Boy game for Game Boy
What?
Color.
Yep.
This Pokemon Silver.
What was your first Game Boy?
Game Boy Color?
Was it a purple one?
No, it was a silver one. It had a little Pikachu in the corner, and it had that little like circle that light. You know, the power button lights up
Oh
red.
yeah.
His little blush thing lights up red
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
on his face.
Nice. What was your first Game Boy?
My first Game Boy was the see-through purple one.
Nice.
The one where you could see all the, the motherboard and everything
Yep,
inside of it.
I
It was pretty
remember.
cool.
I had the dark purple one, 'cause it was only purple for like a year or two, and then they came out with the lime green.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I was just so upset. I was just like, "Could I get this dumb color? I don't even like purple, but it plays Pokemon."
Sister got a lime green SP. That was her first Game Boy. I remember.
Oh man, that was technology at the best right there.
So it went Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and then SP, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
well the SP was just like the better version of the
Yeah, 'cause
Advance.
it had the backlit screen and
yeah.
everything.
Oh my god.
I don't see kids like when I was in elementary school, like during after school, like on the playground, everybody was just sitting around with a Game Boy. I don't see kids like walking around with Game Boys anymore.
do
Yeah,
it
they
at
all
work.
have iPhones.
I see people that are our age that would have done it before still doing it.
That's all that's keeping Nintendo afloat right now is people our age.
Yeah.
The younger
much.
generation do not give two
Like, what are they doing
shits.
though in place of it?
iPhone,
iPhone?
Android,
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't approve.
or they just console game or PC game.
Missing out. Well,
Every
I guess
kid has a laptop or a tablet now.
how? My parents would never get me a laptop or tablet.
Yeah, but you had a computer, right?
There was a family computer that I didn't really get to use.
So the family computer back then was probably what, like $1,200. It was super expensive.
I mean, for a good, decent one, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, and now you're looking at cheap tablets that are like $150 or less. You can get a $80 one and give that to your kid.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Don't do that.
sorry. I'm not.
Party foul. I just
I won't touch it.
That's not
anymore.
fine.
Sorry.
So while we're still on Nintendo, me and Tom were talking about this. Do you think Nintendo's gonna make it after this new console launch?
Make it? Like, do you think they'll just? Are you suspecting bankruptcy or what?
Well, they'll never go bankrupt. I mean, they have so much piled up from the Wii and
Or
the
do you think it will be their
Yeah,
last
that's true.
console? Is what you're
yeah.
saying?
Like they're getting out of the manufacturing.
What would they do instead
Just make games.
for other systems?
Yeah, software only.
I think that might be smart.
I think that's a smarter move on my point or on their point.
Yeah, like I could see that happening. Except I don't know. Do you think they'd want to go exclusive for one?
Well, they're not going to work with Microsoft.
Yeah, it'd probably go with Sony for PS4 since they're both Japanese companies.
Yeah.
But they do work with Activision right now. So, I mean, things are changing.
I mean, that's only with the what are they called?
The Skylanders.
Is it Skylander?
Yeah, they have Donkey Kong and Bowser
That's
in
right.
Skylanders right now.
I mean, I don't know if I'd really call that a partnership, but
They're letting them use their IPs. Important IPs.
I suppose.
In games that are for crappy children.
I mean, it's always a possibility. You look at companies like that. In order for them to make money, they don't necessarily like having to partner with other companies like that. But I think in the worst case, since the Wii was pretty good. The Wii U kind of just fucking tanked. And I mean, it's kind of a hit or miss now. If they can come out with a good console again.
The fact that 12 million people bought it still amazed me.
The Wii U.
The Wii?
Yeah. The
I was
Wii
one
U.
of 'em.
Well, the Wii U sold like 150 million or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, the Wii's were sold out for months and months after it released. It's so hard to find when people were selling them for like triple the price.
Well, they're so cheap though. They came out for what, 250?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's like super undercutting when you have to get a second job, according to Sony, to afford a PS3, and it's going to be worth it.
What? Did
PS
Sony advertise that?
That's what they said at their E3 console when they announced the price of.
You have to get a second job, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, it's like they announced it for like 500, 600, and their best one was $700.
So they're consoles for
God damn it.
consumers.
Yeah, they said. They
It's
said
mostly towards rich kids then.
they were telling people that you should get a second job to afford this because it's that good. And they eat a lot of crap for that. Even though I was a first adopter to the PS3, but I bought mine off eBay for $200 when it first came out.
They were saying that about the PS3 or their next system.
This was PS3.
Oh. How much was the PS3 when it came out? Was it like
It just said it started off at 5 and ended at like 7.
5, 6, 7. Probably for the different
Oh.
hard drive sizes.
Different hard drive sizes, and the backwards compatibility if you wanted for the PS2.
So it's kind of like the Xbox, how they first came, or the Xbox 360, how they first came out with the arcade, the Pro, and the Elite.
Yeah. So they were trying to like kind of. Well, they didn't have the Elite. They had the Xbox 360, and then they had the arcade version. They had those two. They didn't come out to the Elite for like 1 or 2 years after
Well,
that.
it must have been arcade and Pro, because I know the arcade didn't come with a hard drive.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
But it was just called the Xbox 360. It wasn't called the. It was the arcade
right.
was the Xbox 360 arcade.
Because the second version, I believe, of the Xbox 360 was the one that came out with HDMI, because it still had AV when it first came out.
So that was the updated version
Yeah.
of the Xbox 360, and then they came out with the Elite system,
Yeah. Yep.
which
That's right.
came with like the 120 gig hard drive, all black.
Okay.
Oh man, I remember, because I got the arcade version because that's all I could afford. Oh no, it wasn't I couldn't afford it. I couldn't find like the regular version. So when they had the arcade version, I was just like, screw it, I have to buy it.
Yeah.
I bought an Xbox 360 for Christmas one year, and she got like the really newer, nice one with the HDMI port and everything. And her TV didn't even support HDMI, and I was just like, "Can we just switch?"
Man, back in the ancient days when before HDMI.
Yeah, you had to buy those $40 component cables.
God damn. Anyway, back to Nintendo. What did you guys think of the Zelda game that they announced?
looks pretty neat.
Pretty neato.
Yeah.
Did you watch it all?
I watched the gameplay trailer for it.
The trailer, or you watched the whole demo?
Did they have a full demo on there?
They had
I
like
believe I just watched the trailer.
well, depending on whose stream you watched, but they had like a 20-minute demo.
Okay. I must have just watched the no, yeah, I watched the trailer, and then I think I was down here with you when you were watching the demo for a little while.
Yeah,
They were kind of talking about the dungeons and stuff like that. How there was ruins, and then there was the dungeons you can go into.
so
Shrines.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they
the
went to
shrines, and then there's separate dungeons.
I watched it. I probably watched 10 minutes out of it, but then I was just like, I can't watch it anymore because I just want to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I'm not playing beta anymore.
Really?
I've been Sorry, this is different. Continue. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead. It's fine.
What beta are you playing so everyone knows?
World of Warcraft Legion beta, and yeah,
Just kidding.
This is what do you call this show?
Salty Snack GameCast.
Oh, the nerd should be a compliment, I think.
Nerd is a compliment.
But I mean, I don't want to go into any of the questing through the zones or anything, 'cause I feel like I'm just gonna have to do it twice now.
Does it erase
Right.
your data?
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah, it's just beta testing.
Yeah, on the release, you have to start back at level 100
I mean, these
now.
aren't your characters. You can transfer your characters, I guess, but or you can just boost one to the max level and start new content just for testing.
Gotcha. So what was the point of doing the beta then? Just so you
To
could say you
test.
did it?
To test, and I'm bored with live, and I want something to do.
Well, when they send you that beta key, do they say, like, after you're done using the beta, or, like, every once in a while to actually go through, write down notes on what you think is...
I didn't get it through
What?
Blizzard. I got it through Wowhead.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They don't do that stuff, do they?
Right
Well,
now,
I mean, it's a
mostly
beta
for
test.
server
Technically, beta
testing.
test is for you to go through, stress test the system,
Yeah,
make
but
sure that there's no flukes or anything in it.
it's for them to read the data, not for you to send them the data.
Well, I mean, it's also for you to write or
Yeah,
like,
you could report.
send in
There's
things and
sections to
report
report
things.
bugs and stuff, but that's voluntary,
Yeah.
mostly. It's
I
not
mean,
a
in my
requirement.
mind, I feel like that's what a beta is meant to be, more for having players go through and try finding and stress testing your stuff.
That's mostly what they did with their alpha. Their alpha was a lot more of what a traditional beta would have been.
I
Right now,
suppose.
this is kind of whatever's after beta.
To not the hate on the beta or anything like that. You know what's really just fucking ticking me off? Like, super bad. So, PlayStation 4 has a real big problem with crashing on certain games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like simple arcade style games,
Mhm.
like independent games, or just watching Hulu and crashes.
Really?
Oh, it is so terrible. And their process for like, so when it crashes, it'll come up with like that window screen that says, "Hey, there was an error. Would you like to report this to someone?" Of course, I'm going to say yes, but then they have like that comment line on it. And I remember I was playing, it was one of the free games with PlayStation Plus, and I was playing it. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like some Greek game. I think it was like Athena or something like that.
Okay.
But it just kept crashing. This a simple game shouldn't crash that much. So I kept writing in the comments like, "Fix this fucking game. You need to fix this fucking game already. What the fuck? How many times I gotta crash before you fix the game?" I just kept sending them the same like message. No one's getting that fucking message.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna read those, I suppose. It's kind of like with Windows, when it, like they were saying on one of those shows the other day, when your internet's down and it says like, "The Windows diagnostic system, would you like to diagnose a problem?"
And it has no idea, like, "Oh, I'll check online for you. Oh, there's no internet connection."
It's like, oops, I don't know what happened. I can't figure it out. Yeah, what podcast? Was that Rooster Teeth?
It was one of the, yeah, I think
it was Rooster Teeth. that
probably.
was saying that.
We've gotten this far in technology and we can't diagnose like bugs like that. Instead, we have to crash your whole system and then ask you if you want to send the information. Just take it. If it's going to make it better, just take the information of its
It's
crashing.
like, why even ask?
Like, as soon as I bought the game, you should have known that, yeah, you can take the information of its crashing. I'm okay with that.
Anything to make the game better, obviously.
Well,
Anyway, John, back to Legion.
I have nothing really to say about it.
Are
Well,
you-
you just don't
it's-
want to keep playing 'cause
Yeah.
you feel like you're gonna have to play it over again.
Well, yeah. I want to experience it live.
Jesus.
Oh, I sneeze in your face.
No, but it just felt like the wind go.
That was a powerful sneeze.
It's a Hurricane Juan passing through.
It's the Wanlnado.
The Juan-nado.
Wanado.
So, Nintendo, do we think that Nintendo is going to make it?
Personally, it really depends on how they do their console. If it's gonna go back to a physical console with controllers, I feel like probably not.
You don't think they can do it?
I don't think they can compete when it comes to just like a normal console like that. I mean, the Wii U was a good concept. I just don't think that they were able to get it out enough, and their online still absolutely fucking sucks.
So what if it was a gimmick-free console? No gimmicks, just straight console with controllers, and they had like one small gimmick that wasn't like a real gimmick. It was just maybe enhance the way you play.
Kind of like touch controller.
Shut your mouth. Don't you say that. No one wants these stupid touch controllers.
You said a small gimmick.
A small gimmick that makes sense.
Okay.
Like-
so
Like the speaker in the
foot
control.
warmers.
Foot warmers,
Hey, I'll be
controllers
My
that
feet
hook
get
to your
cold.
feet.
That makes sense to me.
Hey, if they send me a massage chair with my new NX console, I'm okay with that. Get a little love hands going while I'm jumping around Mario.
They send you a Snuggie with it. A monogram Snuggie for you with every Nintendo console.
I feel like the best thing I've seen new on a controller lately was like the speaker in the PlayStation 4 controller.
That was a good concept. I mean, I don't feel like enough games use it.
Definitely not.
I mean, I
Is there
only
an
had the
actual
PS4 for a
speaker
while.
in there, or
but
you mean the port for your headphones?
No, there's an actual speaker in there that in some games, like if you're getting a report or like you're getting a call, it'll come through the little speaker.
I have had that happen.
like in GTA 5,
actually.
as an example.
I haven't played GTA 5.
Yeah,
Trying to think, did
that's-
Destiny have it?
I don't think Destiny used it as much as they should have, but the best one I think I saw was, I think Resogun, because Resogun had the music on the screen, and then if there was any information, it came from the speaker in the controller.
Okay,
So it would tell you like if there was something approaching or something like that.
that makes sense.
But I remember the
Um,
first time I played with using it, and it like my speaker was talking, and I was just like, what the hell?
Well, I remember playing GTA 5, and it's the cell phone that you have in the
Yep.
game that's rings on the speaker on the controller. I'm sitting there playing, and all of a sudden the phone starts ringing, and I'm like,
Checking
"The fuck is that?" Like, it's not coming from my TV, so I'm like checking my phone. I'm like, "What the?" And all of a sudden, the controller's vibrating. I'm like, "What the fuck? It's coming from the controller." That's sweet.
And then I think Infamous Second Son used it. They used it for the same thing, cell phone calls or dead drops.
I believe Watch Dogs used it too.
Fuck Watch Dogs.
Well, I mean, the game is terrible. Let's just say that. But
We'll talk about Ubisoft later.
okay.
So
I don't think they'll make another system. I don't think they have enough. Like, I could see them kind of turning into a company like Ubisoft or like a Activision or something, working more on games, because I don't think they have as broad of a what's the word? I don't think they have as many games to be exclusive for just their system to justify having it their own system.
I suppose.
now, what if I propose you this? What if NX wasn't a console, but NX was an app that you can have on your PC or PS4 or Xbox One that just played strictly Nintendo games?
Would you still have to have like a Nintendo controller plugged in?
No, you just use the regular controller, mouse and keyboard.
I don't see how that'd be very different from just partnering with other people and making games for them.
Well, that's where we're getting at. Is NX going to be a whole new console, or is it just going to be a handheld? And then if you want to play it on the go, you can play your games on the go, right? But if you want to play them on your TV, console, or computer, then you just launch their NX app.
See, the problem with that, though, is if they were to come out with games then where they continue on like the Zelda series or like, a Mario game or something like that, they'd have to fork over the rights to those consoles so that they can each separately make the game for their specific console.
Yeah, but it's not like they wouldn't get support.
No, I mean, they'd get a lot of support because all the Mario games and all the Zelda games, all the Smash Bros. Games and stuff, they're all really popular.
Well, Zelda's popular, but it's actually not as popular as people think.
Really?
Yeah, it only sells about 10 million copies compared to, we're talking Call of Duty. It's like 50 million each time.
I mean, I suppose the fan base for it is a little bit smaller, but the fan base is really loyal to the game. So anybody that has played Zelda from the beginning, they continuously play Zelda and they always talk about it
Then why aren't they buying Wii U's?
because the Wii U sucks.
But yeah, that's another point. They have so few games where people might feel really strongly about a game, but why would they waste all their money buying one system to buy one game that they care a lot about?
Well, they
Yeah.
have a super strong first-party catalog. It's really strong. It's just not strong enough to hold up a console without
Mhm.
third-party.
That's what I think just partnering with one system builder would be the best move for them.
Well, so they're moving into Android and iOS, right?
Okay.
So I can see them just developing apps and software from now on, and I would be okay with that. And even if they did like, gimmicks, like, hey, this game comes with this weird controller,
Yeah.
and this weird controller is used for this game.
I don't know if you consider this console. I think they should continue with handhelds though.
I think they'll always continue with handheld. That's like their bread and butter
Yeah.
right now. It
Because
is.
no one else really does handhelds like Nintendo has.
What if what if they merged with Sony, right? And they brought like the Sony PSP and the Nintendo DS together. Just merged those bad boys together, and then you were able to play Sony PS4 games and Nintendo games on a handheld.
I mean, I suppose that's a good happy medium because then Sony, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I hated the PSP. PlayStation Vita was kind of bullshit.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to the Vita lovers, but I fucking hate it.
Never owned any handheld that wasn't Nintendo.
Where I suppose the Nintendo ones are really popular, so it would help if Sony took the rights to it, it would help them with the selling of their handhelds, but then they'd be buying it for the Nintendo games. So then it's kind of a win-win situation for both of them.
Well, it wouldn't be them taking the rights to it, but it would basically be them sharing. Sony sharing parts in Nintendo's console or Nintendo's handheld, and Nintendo sharing parts in their console.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I think if they can build a relationship, that would be great. Even though they have really bad blood from the 90s. Anything else?
I just thought of the song "Bad Blood" by Taylor Swift right there.
I know it's going through my head. Got the bad blood now.
What was it? What do you guys think of the new Xbox console and the new PlayStation?
Let's talk Xbox Scorpio first. Do I think it's an awesome idea? I like it. I think it's fucking awesome.
Could you explain it?
So the
Uh,
Xbox Scorpio is basically going to be their Xbox 1.5. It's going to play all original Xbox One games, but it's going to basically up-res them with an update to 4K and be, what, they said like 3 or 4 times faster?
I think they said 4 times faster. They're updating the processor in it.
If you already own an Xbox One or original Xbox game, would you have to buy another one?
No,
Or
it would just
so-
be like an update.
Yeah, it'd be an update straight for the thing.
Okay, so it'll just see that you have it and then have to download a patch.
Pretty much, yeah. For
So
the most part.
from what I'm hearing, no one really knows, but so the games aren't changing at all. They're just gonna be better. So it's basically like PC. Now everyone has the same PC or the same
Mhm.
graphics cards, and you can up-res the graphics depending on your PC and graphics cards. That's basically what it's gonna be like. All right, you have a first-gen Xbox One. That game's still gonna work with it. But if you got a new Xbox Scorpio, whatever, Xbox One, then it's just going to have 4K gaming and be faster and more RAM.
I like the idea of backward compatibility the most, because that seems to be something that's going away a lot.
Would they bring the backwards compatibility that the Xbox One had to the 360 games?
I won't see why not. It's running the same OS.
I suppose.
and that's basically just an emulator
Mm-hmm.
because you have to re-download the game once you put the disc in.
Would that be 4K upscale again?
I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be fucking sweet if they can push that out, but I don't think they're gonna pull that out right away.
I suppose.
They're people want to remaster everything. They want to get that extra money out.
Yeah, I mean, the games that did really well, I feel like they'd remaster, kind of like how the new Call of Duty is going to bring back, what was it, Modern Warfare? Some of the maps from that. Or was it the actual full game?
Full game.
Oh, full game with
Full game.
campaign and everything.
Full game and I think multiplayer.
Okay. See, that's really nice because that was a really popular game. That's a lot of people still think that's one of their favorite Call of Duty games.
But you can't buy it unless you buy the $100 version.
The collector's edition or whatever of it.
That's
kind
kind
of-
of bullshit.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that they're fighting with Battlefield, I think. Because Battlefield 1 looks sweet and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare looked like fucking shit.
I
Wasn't
thought
it-
it looked cool.
I mean, at one point, it had the worst downvotes on YouTube in YouTube history or something like that.
That's because people want to hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
I don't know. I didn't like the way that it looked. I feel like them going to like outer space warfare just isn't Call of Duty anymore.
It's World War II in space. That's how they're pitching it.
What?
World War II in
This
space.
is taking place in like 1940s.
No. You're not taking it right. Like it's World War II, but in space.
So World War III in space.
No, it's so basically there's
Right,
like
that-
the Nazis versus the world.
So Nazis are back in the future.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
See,
You're not
that's
listening.
why I hate it 'cause it's confusing.
I thought it looked cool. The
It's
gameplay looked really cool.
it's
and
basically
new.
like War of the Worlds. So, like the space is fighting with the Earth. So, that's how they pitched it to me. I think it looks cool, and then I watched the Battlefield like betas that are going on right now, and that game looks bad.
Really?
The graphics on it look really bad. Like, I don't know, it was just because they were running, but when it was raining, it screen teared everywhere.
Most of the time with the Battlefield betas, though, they didn't have full graphics out. 'Cause I don't know if you guys ever played I believe it was the Battlefield 3 beta. Like, the graphics, they didn't have the buildings completely done. They didn't have collision on a lot of things. Like, the graphics were absolute crap, but then afterwards, they went back and obviously updated all that after the beta was done.
I hope it's not going to look like that, especially if it's running on a console. See, that's when they showed that trailer, was it running?
I'm
Is that-
guessing PC.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to run like garbage on a PS4 or Xbox One, which is going to be super disappointing. Because I was watching it, and the effects in it looks cool. Like, when the rain hits the tank that I was watching it fight on, because the water was sticking to it, when he
Mhm.
started firing, like, steam was coming off of it to show that, like, the water was real. But then when I looked out into the distance, wherever the rain was trying to hit, because the rain is basically coming down in blocks, it was just screen tearing everything. And I was just like, it just didn't look good.
I suppose. I mean, that might be kind of a downfall to it if people are going back and looking at it that way. But
And then, like that law of motion when something's going like this, like a car rim, it'll look like it's just going really slow after a while if it's going fast enough.
like a helicopter blade.
Yeah,
and then
so you could
starts and then goes the other way, and then turns.
So
and
they-
goes.
So they put that into the tank tracks. When it gets up to speed, it'll look
Okay.
like it's going the other way,
Mm-hmm.
which should look cool, but it just looked like a graphical mess at one point. Because there's just too many things going on.
maybe they released their beta too quick.
I'm excited for it. I mean, it looks awesome and everything, but I've just been burned by Battlefield too many times with 3 and 4.
I mean,
hate it.
I've personally never owned a Battlefield game. I never could get into the having to go out and play an hour-long game or anything like that online. Actually, I take that back. I played Battlefield, what was it, 1942 or something like that?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I played that on the 360 for a while. That one was a fun game. Those
Battlefield,
games still took a while.
Battlefield Bad Company 2 is fun.
I didn't play that one.
As far as Call of Duty goes, though, I think if they want to maintain a good, a healthy fan base, they need to innovate, and I think the Infinite Warfare is doing that. But they need something new instead of just ground killing, get your kill streak.
I suppose.
We'll see. If they just do multiplayer in space where you have 3D action because there's no gravity, I think that's going to be pretty awesome. But you never know.
It could be risky too, though. I don't know, 'cause I haven't ever seen a game do something like that. So
All the whole grappling hook stuff.
yeah, or with like I haven't ever seen a multiplayer shooter, and this is just talking multiplayer right now. I have never seen a multiplayer shooter with no gravity.
That's true. I
I
haven't really seen
I don't know how it would work, but if they do it to a point where it feels fluid and like that the game's not cheating you.
Well, you saw that like anti-gravity grenade, right?
Yeah.
Where you just threw it on like a group of 6 and they just all were floating in the air and you just took them all out.
It's kind of cool.
So, yay or nay on the Xbox One Scorpio?
Xbox One, yes. I think so.
Just because they released what it's going to be?
Yeah.
100% of like their specs?
And because they're lacking in processing power, I think, compared to the PS4 at least.
They're on the same. They're just running slower DDR RAM. That's about it.
I don't know, and I just didn't like the, because what was it? They were doing tests when the Xbox One and PS4 came out, where the PS4 could run games closer to 1080p than the Xbox could, and they were both claiming that they could run games at 1080p, where the Xbox didn't have as good of resolution at 30 frames.
I mean, I'm not really worried about that, but I do like the way Microsoft is going in a direction. I mean, they're still doing well. It's not like they are like failing miserably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're outselling Xbox 360 month over month. So I don't know why they want to just jump the gun on everything, but I like that they're taking chances. Because now they're like Sony in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sony just undercut everybody and said, this is what we're coming out with, you know. We're going to go undercut Xbox One. We're going to focus on games. And now Xbox is like, all right, we're going to scrap all that shit before and we're starting over. We're going to put out a console just for gamers. We're going to put out games for gamers. We're going to make it a friendly environment.
I've always liked the Xbox with their UI system on their menus and stuff. Just like the dashboard itself with the panels and stuff. Obviously, that's the Windows look, how they're doing it with Windows 8 and then Windows 10. But, I mean, I've always liked that over the PS4. I always thought the PS4 was a little clunky, and it was kind of seemed like it was kind of hard to find what you wanted to use.
I like the UI of the PS4 just because it's smooth and snappy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like super fast. If I need to get out of something real quick and just press that menu button. And I feel like finding things on Xbox One is a huge pain sometimes.
Really? I suppose we're opposites on that.
I guess it's just whichever one you've used more.
Yeah.
You'll probably get used to.
So how we feel about... Sorry.
I was done.
Oh, how we feel about the PS4 Neo?
Explain that too.
So it's the same idea as the Scorpio,
Okay.
where they're going to...
I mean, I'd be fine with both.
But according to certain rumors, it's not going to be doing anything real graphically advanced.
Isn't it basically just a slimmer system?
No, it's going to be a little bit faster, but it's not going to be as fast as the Xbox Scorpio.
Okay.
Which, to me, seems like a real big problem at this point. They want to launch this year with it, right? But if you're not going to put out a faster, more better console with your VR launching, because the Scorpio is going to be Oculus ready when it comes out.
Really?
Yeah, that's their whole. It's gonna be compatible with Oculus. Why do you think they're in bed with them right now?
I could see it happening. I don't know. I guess they haven't announced that enough because I haven't heard anything about that.
They've been talking about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Oculus is going to be. I feel like it's a lot easier to have a console that would be able to run that as opposed to like the HTC Vive.
Well, yeah, but I just feel like PS4's or Sony's just not doing the right thing. If they're gonna release a new console, and it's not gonna be super advanced, and you're releasing PSP VR, what's the point of buying that new console?
Exactly.
So the only thing running for it would be backwards compatibility.
That in 4K.
It's supposed to run a little 4K, so it's gonna be 4K gaming, but it's pretty much gonna be 4K gaming at the minimum, while Xbox One is gonna be 4K gaming and future proof a little bit.
Okay. So 4K at the maximum for.
Pretty much.
All right.
So it's like
I don't know. I would kind of how far backwards does the compatibility go to PS4?
Are you talking about for their games?
Yeah.
All games have to work on both PS4s, no
Okay.
matter what.
So not all the way back to PS3?
No,
Does the PS4 have backwards compatibility to PS3?
no, they won't. They won't do it. That's
Okay.
why they have PS Now.
Yeah, PS Now is, I don't know.
Everything's being remastered. I mean, we're getting a BioShock remastered in probably a couple months.
BioShock Remastered would be pretty nice.
So yay or nay on these consoles.
Personally, if I had to choose between the two, I'd buy the Xbox. I don't personally know if I'm going to, just because the PC is kind of they're both merging into being able to stream to PC, and PC games are basically, I don't know. Both, like you were saying before, PS4 and Xbox are both making their games available to PS or PC.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're going to play a game, you might as well just get a PC because you can get both the exclusives for both the systems.
Sony's not jumping the gun on all their exclusives, but they're jumping the gun on their third-party exclusives.
I feel like down the road they will release the exclusives, especially if Xbox is doing that with Gears of War. Did Quantum Break come out on PS4? I don't think so.
No, that's a Microsoft publishing exclusive.
Okay. Well, obviously, if that's Microsoft, then that's going to be on PC as well. But I just feel like the Xbox would be the way to go between those two.
But you're not going to get those Sony games.
I mean, I've never really been into a lot of the Sony exclusives. I was more of Halo, Gears of War.
Did you not see Uncharted 4?
I've never played an Uncharted game.
Oh, God. Have you not
What are you
seen
smirking at?
the trailers for Horizon Zero Dawn? That game's going to change my fucking life. Watch the gameplay trailer for that. It's just fucking crazy. You're fighting robot dinosaurs.
Robot dinosaurs.
And you have to, like, hit their weak spots to take them down.
Have I told you guys about... Sorry, really different. Have I told you about the game Nanosaur for old Max?
I
Used
don't
to
think
play
so.
it at our school. You were a velociraptor with a jetpack and 2 laser guns.
Oh, God.
It was so great. You went back in time and you went to, like, collect dinosaur eggs and you were just jumping around shooting T-Rexes as a velociraptor. It was so cool.
What the fuck?
Should remaster that.
Hey, we're getting a like a Shaq Fu.
What?
Shaq Fu Remastered.
Shaq Fu.
What is a Shaq Fu?
You know, like Shaquille O'Neal. He came
Oh.
out with his own video game called Shaq Fu back in like the
What?
Nintendo NES days. Or Super
Really?
Nintendo. Oh yeah.
Wasn't that also the name of his
Fu.
rap album?
I don't know.
What was it? Was it Shaqpocalypse or something like that?
I can look it up.
I don't remember what it was. When we were watching that documentary on Shaq and the
The Orlando Magic.
yeah,
Good
they
documentary.
mentioned that. For anybody that wanted to watch that, that's on Netflix. It's 30 for 30 special.
Yeah, it was really good. Uh, talk about developers conferences.
I mean, I didn't really watch too many of those. I think you're pretty much the only one that watched those.
'Cause I fucking love conferences.
What do you guys think of Skyrim remastered?
I think it's unnecessary.
Exactly.
This is what I want to know, because I was talking to with Tom about this earlier. Is it going to be a full remaster like Bethesda did it, or is it just like the PC patch?
Regardless if it is, I'd still only play for PC.
I just
Because
think
I've spent too much time just modding it to the way I want it, and if I play on anybody else the way somebody else has set it up, I like the freedom to just make the game feel the way I want it to.
I don't know how well the Bethesda modding works. I mean, I tried it on Fallout 4 a little bit. I got the unofficial patch for Fallout 4, excuse me. And it seemed like it was going to work fairly well. It was pretty easy to use, where it would just come up with a bunch of tiles saying which mod it was and kind of giving a description of it. But I feel like with Skyrim, if you're going to want to mod a game, you already own a PC.
Okay, so that's true. And I'm not a PC gamer, of course. You two are. But say you haven't played Skyrim yet. Would you buy the remastered?
Yeah.
Would you pay this full $60 price?
If this was the first one you were gonna get, yeah.
You-
'Cause what does the regular legendary edition cost now? Like 40?
Is it really still that much?
No. There's no way. For
You
what's
sure?
it? Well, because it's only they didn't release it for the Xbox One or the PS4. They said they weren't
Legendary
gonna.
edition was for PS3
Yeah, for PS3 and Xbox 360 at the time or right now.
right
That-
now.
Right now, I'm guessing it's probably like $15.
I
There's no way
I
it's more
doubt
than anything like
it's-
that.
Okay, say you bought Skyrim for PS3 and it was broken as hell and they never fixed it. Are you going to re-buy it?
I'm not. If I just had had it for PS3 and this was coming out, well, I don't know. If I hadn't played it before, I would definitely recommend getting remastered because the graphics are pretty chunky. But
Oh, the load times were absolutely
yeah,
awful.
load times are pretty bad too.
Because did you guys know that Skyrim was super broken on the PS3?
Mm-hmm. It was
Yeah.
broken pretty bad on the Xbox 360 as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'd never heard anything about the Xbox 360. My roommate went through it 3 times
Mm-hmm.
on Xbox 360. Never had a problem. I don't. I didn't play Skyrim, but I don't know if I want to sink into 100-hour games anymore.
I mean, it's a good time killer. You have extra time, you have a day off, or you're sitting there just not really doing anything.
But when your back catalog is like 30 deep,
I mean, when you have a bunch of games on deck to play, I don't know if it's completely worth spending the full amount.
I prefer investing into fewer games, but investing more. I feel if there, well, it was a couple holidays ago that I just, I think it was probably senior year of high school. A bunch of games were coming out, and I got a bunch of games over the holidays, and just feeling like I have to finish this one so then I could play the next one. And I don't know if I felt rushed or what, but I like to invest into longer games. And I also, when a game that I'm like really into, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I got pretty into that game, and then it ended, and then I didn't know what to do. Because
Yeah, you kind of get that feeling of what do I do with my
wanna,
life now?
Personally, I want to invest in a long game that I can keep going with for a long time.
Games that have a lot of side quests and things
Yeah.
where you don't feel like you have to do the main storyline right away.
Wow.
Yeah. World of Warcraft with their daily quests and everything.
like, I've been really tempted to buy and play The Witcher 3, but I don't want to sink that many hours into a game. The last game I sank more than, I don't know, 15 hours was Metal Gear Solid 5. I put 50 hours into it, and at the end of the game, I was like, it was a good game, but
It wasn't worth the time.
it wasn't worth my time. I could have played so many other games,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like since there's so many new experiences coming out all the time, and I want to keep up, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Like, even Uncharted 4 is 20 hours. I got tired at 16. Like, I'm right at the end, and I just don't want to finish it anymore. And that's how it is.
I feel like those games can kind of burn you out pretty quick too. If they don't give you engaging enough quests and engaging enough story.
the story's fucking great. I just got tired of playing through the game where it just became a little too tedious for me. All right, I'm gonna kill about 150,000 guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the one point, I was just like, the story is fucking great. I love the story, but I'm just burnt out in gameplay like that.
Is it like
suppose.
repetitive?
Just shooting someone in the head, 150 times,
Mm-hmm.
or just bullet spraying things. It gets tedious. They're adding a lot of new elements. I mean, they have driving things. They have, climbing still. They had like that grappling hook. You saw it where you grappling hook and then you
Yeah.
punch someone in the face. That's all cool and everything, but I need a game where I can just shut off my brain like Need for Speed.
Yeah, games where it just kind of feels natural to play. You don't really have to think about much.
Yeah, pretty much. Like a game I just don't give two shits about the story and I don't have to pay attention.
I suppose.
Minecraft.
I hate Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Just dig a hole. You don't have to think about anything. Just keep going.
Well, the EA conference I thought sucked. The only thing good they showed was like Titanfall 2, which is dropping like the same week as Battlefield. So that's gonna fucking suck.
Do they coordinate these things, or
I don't.
They
fucking
must.
know.
like? 'Cause
They're
it
coming out with
seems
the game
like
on this day. Let's be competitive here.
yeah, everybody's just like, all right, so they're gonna launch this day. That sounds like fun. We'll be there too.
Kind of makes people choose what game they want to get first and play first.
Well, it's like last gen. Sony released Uncharted 3 the same week that they released Resistance 3, and Resistance 3 fucking bombed.
Yeah, World of Warcraft Cataclysm Blizzard announced the Cataclysm expansion right after, what was it? The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Was that what was
Yeah,
online? Right after that launched, they announced their.
But that's not the same developer.
No, it's not. But it's just trying to be competitive because it's another, like, MMO. Everybody was saying it was going to be a killer.
Well, that's a little different though. I'm saying like the same developer, or not developer, the same publishing company releasing the same two games in 1 week.
Oh, like
And now they're competing against each other.
they're competing against themselves.
Yeah.
That
Isn't
is
that dumb?
weird.
That is so
that is
dumb.
very weird.
Well, I mean, when you think about it that way, they're making money. So
Not
Do
if
they
they're
just
going to
have
tank on
two
one.
split teams, and both teams decide they want to launch on this day.
Well, no. So like Naughty Dog and Insomniac, right? They
Mhm.
made the games, two different developers. Sony publishes them, but
Oh,
Sony
and
has pretty
Sony
much
decides let's launch on the same day.
yeah.
is Sony the one that gets to decide the launch days?
Yeah. They're putting the money up, so of course. I mean, their marketing department.
I
I
suppose.
don't know if that would sell them more or less.
You're selling a third-person shooter and a first-person shooter in the same week
Yeah, but like,
that are exclusive to
do you
want to
make two
console.
trips or one trip?
Just get both.
I bought Uncharted 3. I didn't even know Resistance 3 came out until it was too late. Now I can't even find it. So Titanfall 2 is coming out. Anyone excited?
I played a little bit of the first one. It seemed pretty fun. I mean, I might check it out if it's on PC.
Story mode.
Story mode.
I haven't played Titanfall. I haven't really seen anything about Titanfall before.
It's like Call of Duty with mechs.
Yeah, I've seen trailers and tiny clips, but I haven't ever like watched actual and tried to dissect gameplay or
I suppose.
anything.
The trailer looked pretty cool, showing off, the story mode, where like the mech has a personality. I thought that was pretty neat, but I'm a little burned by them because they only released Titanfall 1 on Xbox One and they're not going to re-release it on PS4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They might do like a Mass Effect thing. Like Mass Effect 1 didn't come till like Mass Effect 2 was already out on the PS3. Because Microsoft had that, they had the rights to it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about Watch Dogs 2? Watch
Sucks.
Dogs 2. Just too burned.
I'm too burned from Watch Dogs 1. So overhyped. Played it for the first hour. Absolutely hated it. Regret the purchase.
Didn't play that one either.
I was too burned after the first one. I probably won't even bat an eye when I see it. Maybe if they release it for like $10 on a sale, I might pick it up, but I won't pay full price.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like they dug themselves in a hole with Watch Dogs 1 because everybody seemed like they hated it. It was kind of a mutual decision from everybody.
I met like one person who liked it, and I was like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, one of my friends from high school really liked it for some reason, but
Well,
I mean, I was like, here you go. Here's the game. Give me my sub back. That's about it.
what I always see it compared to is Assassin's Creed 1.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, it's just like Assassin's Creed 1. I liked Assassin's Creed 1. I thought Assassin's Creed 1 was good.
I thought it was too repetitive.
I think that the
Yeah, but did you finish the game?
environments in that game was enough to, and the environments in the story was enough to carry the repetitive kind of game questing.
Yeah,
Like go and do the same thing, kill this guy. I think doing it in different spots was enough for me. Just getting to be in where was that?
I think it was Israel.
That was during the Crusades, right?
Constantinople.
Yeah. No, that
Or
was that was the second one.
Oh wait, wasn't that Revelations, Constantinople?
Yeah.
Okay. But I thought in Revelations he was going back to where Altair was.
No one cares. Getting off topic.
Sorry. Anyways, just I think Ubisoft does a great job with capturing past environments. I think that was enough for me to carry repetitive Assassin's Creed 1.
I suppose.
And the story was pretty good too. It was interesting.
I liked the story. I liked how they did Desmond,
Yeah.
showing off his character. I liked that there was like this kind of mystery to him, even though like playing Desmond was kind of lame.
Yeah. They could have cut down, or, well, no. I don't know if I would have cut down on it. Made it quicker just to get back in the Animus. Maybe, but I don't know. It was interesting to kind of see the kind of bleeding effect of the Animus where he starts like getting the eagle sense or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So no Assassin's Creed this year, but we are getting Ghost Recon.
Okay. I haven't played any of those games in a while.
I didn't really look into it. I'm not a big fan of the Tom Clancy games. What else? Steep. Did anyone see the Steep? That was like a snowboarding game.
Yep. I did see something about that. Looked kind of like an old SSX game, kind of. I sank so many hours into SSX Tricky on the PS2.
Cool Borders 3. That was my favorite.
Really?
And Amped. Do you remember Amped for the original Xbox?
Yep.
It was like a launch title.
First snow sports game I played was Snowboard Kids on the Nintendo 64. That was my jam.
You guys play any of the backyard sports games?
Oh my god, yeah.
No.
No.
Backyard basketball, backyard
Oh
soccer.
my god, I remember backyard basketball. You get your power up thing. You could dunk from anywhere. Like we would always just take it to the other side so we could just dunk from like across the court.
I remember NBA Street.
Remember NBA Street and NFL Street.
NFL Street sucked. NFL Street 2 was fucking
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Any of you
Whoa.
play Slugfest?
I
I
know.
don't think so.
NFL
It was
Blitz.
so good. It was so funny. It's baseball where you could hit people. It's so good.
It's
You
basically
could punch people
basically
off the
Blitz then
base. And
for baseball.
So that was pretty much Ubisoft. EA showed off pretty much the same shit they always show off. Madden, sports games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really super into sports games. I know a lot of people that, they get soccer every year, they get football every year, stuff like that.
Well,
But
that's like their number one seller is FIFA
yeah,
and Madden. They showed off a little Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm really excited for it, but they didn't show off enough for me to really care. Bethesda conference.
personally, I am waiting for Fallout 4 VR for the HTC Vive. That is going to be
it's
sweet.
coming in. Is that a mod or is that
That's
like
gonna be official.
Bethesda's
Official Bethesda.
for the Vive?
hmm
How are they gonna do the movement?
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
No one knows yet.
Are they just gonna like remove the limits of you aren't gonna see the limits
You
of
have
your
no
play
play
space.
space.
You're gonna walk into walls.
You have to get your own like computer backpack, and you just have to go outside and just play it. Just into a large
People
field.
are walking into streets everywhere.
They're gonna use those like touch pads, or they're probably gonna use teleporting.
I hope they don't do
teleporting won't
teleporting.
really work because it's it's gonna be really not fluid movement.
That's their only way of getting around everything is teleporting
Mhm.
right now. I don't.
That or if they just do the touchpad moving forward, moving backwards kind of thing. But that's also gonna bring.
If
up
they
motion
just have a
sickness.
button that moves you forward and you turn as you look, I'd be okay with it.
They won't do it.
Why not?
Motion
That-
sickness is too high.
motion sickness.
Motion sickness would be high if you're wearing a VR headset anyway.
But
Well, the reason you get motion sickness is if your body is in a stationary position and your body is moving in the game.
I bet you it is. It's going to be VR controller.
Okay, so like
Like a
an Xbox
new
controller.
New controller.
Or VR keyboard mouse. But when you look down, it's basically just going to show your keyboard. That's the only way
I mean,
that they're going
I
to do
suppose that'd be fine. I
Well,
suppose
like-
it wouldn't really
like just
matter all that much.
Like a Wii's nunchuck, just like a little
it. You can't
thing that.
walking looking around because your legs aren't moving. They won't allow it.
What would a controller do?
You're sitting.
Oh, VR without standing.
Yeah, it'd be like
So
a sitting game then.
Okay. So why isn't the Oculus jumping on that?
Well,
I would-
they're probably going to make it for the Oculus too.
I would think that'd be the first. That's Oculus's game.
Well, Oculus is coming out with touch. That's dropping what, this summer?
They hope. Well, they said Q4.
Yeah, so they're gonna have the same thing basically.
I'm guessing it's probably right around holidays.
Vive has. They're gonna have the two sensors, 3D mapping you.
Okay. So with lighthouse sensors.
With the little, they have the.
Towers.
I believe they have the IR sensors. It's that little one that, it's like a little ring, and then it sits on the desk in front of you.
Okay.
I don't
So you
know how
don't need
well
two?
motion tracking.
It's just gonna be. It's
No, you
gonna.
need to.
So you're gonna have one in front and behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
there's sensors on the controllers. Oops.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how well the Oculus is gonna work with room scale, but I see it being a lot better than the Vive in a standing still sort of thing. We're at about a hour and 10 minutes almost. I see it being a little bit better than the Vive in just a standing still kind of thing, where if you're standing there, you can turn in a circle. It'll always be able to motion track your controllers, obviously, because you have the two Like if you're, pointed this way, it'd be able to see you from both sides.
Mhm.
Pointed the one way, it'll be able to see both, or just the one camera.
We should get on sonar tracking, where it's just like beeping.
Echolocation tracking, where the things
Yeah.
just keep like screaming at you.
You're just gonna have bats flying around you. They're actually censored.
That's how they're gonna do the Batman VR. Is they're gonna have echolocation tracking.
So I'm super upset that they only showed like that small trailer for it,
Yeah,
But they didn't
really
show anything.
It was just the Joker talking
but they
and the Batman logo.
but they showed like to like news. God, I can't. What am I thinking of? Reporters. So they showed like reporters got to demo it.
And but they didn't get to show any of it.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be
So
dropping.
they just
in-
talked about it.
Yeah, that's dropping in October, and you're not going to show me gameplay for it. Like you're talking about
They're
someone.
just teasing you.
Yeah, I'm jumping on the VR bandwagon for the PS VR, but show me some fucking games. Don't be just like it's coming. Just believe.
Just
me.
trust in us. You just have to believe.
So we're getting Fallout VR, Doom VR.
Nope, Doom VR is going to be pretty sweet. I've seen a lot of Doom gameplay watching Leafy is here on YouTube. He just does a voiceover on gameplay that he does, and watched a lot of the Doom gameplay through that.
I think it's going to be sit-down gaming with the VR
I mean,
headset.
that would make a little bit more sense. I don't think they can make it so you're standing up.
I think Bethesda's not going to risk people getting sick on their first attempt at VR.
Honestly, though, people that play Fallout 4 and all the Fallout series religiously, I feel like they're just going to push through the motion sickness just 'cause it's going to be sweet.
What if, as like a attachment to it, you could get like a bucket, that
Like a
attaches
horse
to your
trough.
headset. Will catch your puke and you'll just be fine.
Coming with our new expansion, the horse trough. It's almost as bad as the.
The
Oculus
puking
Rift.
bucket.
Do you know that like they show that burger thing that like sits in front of your face, so you can just go.
Oh,
What? Fast food
It's,
VR?
No, it's
fast food
no,
VR.
it's a burger holder that holds the burger in front of your face.
Oh, just like on the table, and it's just
no,
No, it
wraps around
wraps
your neck.
around the back of your head. Hey guys, sorry about the fade to black there. We actually meant to go another 15 minutes or so with the show, but found out afterwards that my audio and video would stop because my hard drive had filled up. But if you guys like the show, check us out on the links above. We should be doing a GameCast about once every week. Not quite sure on the days yet, but it should be a constant day. So if you like the show, check us out next week. Thanks for watching.